In 1901, divers pulled a corroded lump off an ancient shipwreck. Inside it was a computer, 2,000 years old. In 1900, Greek sponge divers sheltering from a storm dropped anchor off a rocky islet called Antikythera and found, 45 meters down, the richest ancient shipwreck ever discovered. Bronze statues, marble gods, jewelry, coins. A Roman-era treasure ship, sunk around 60 BC. In the hall that reached the museum in Athens was a shoebox-sized lump of corroded bronze that nobody looked at twice. It sat in storage for months, until it split open and a curator saw something impossible inside. A gear wheel, with hand-cut triangular teeth, inside an object 2,000 years old. It would take 100 years, X-rays, and particle-accelerator-grade CT scans to understand what those divers had actually found. The most sophisticated machine of the entire ancient world, and the reason historians had to rewrite what ancient technology means. But the machine itself is only half of it. Because a technology this advanced doesn't appear out of nowhere, and it doesn't vanish without a trace. This one did both. What survives is underwhelming to look at. 82 fragments, the largest the size of a paperback, all of it corroded seafloor bronze. The understanding came in waves. In the 1970s, X-rays revealed some 30 gears, already absurd since nothing else from antiquity has more than a handful. Then, in the 2000s, an international team put the fragments through a purpose-built CT scanner, and the machine gave up its secrets. Not just the gear's exact tooth counts, but thousands of Greek characters engraved inside, a user's manual hidden in the corrosion for 2 millennia. That scanner was an 8-ton cabinet of X-ray hardware trucked from England to the Athens Museum in 2005 because the fragments were too fragile to ship anywhere else. It didn't just find gears, it nearly tripled the readable text, from around 1,000 engraved characters to almost 3,000, writing sealed inside solid bronze that no one had read in 2,000 years. Tooth counts are the smoking gun, because in gearing, numbers are purpose. One train multiplies to 235, the months in the Metonic calendar cycle. Another encodes 223, the eclipse prediction cycle called the Saros. Whoever designed this wasn't decorating, they were computing. What those tooth counts meant is the part nobody was ready for. Turn the hand crank and the machine played the sky forward. A front dial tracked the sun and moon through the zodiac with a day-of-year calendar ring. A silver and black ball rotated to show the moon's phase. Spiral dials on the back ran the long calendars and predicted eclipses, months or decades ahead, with notes on their expected color. And one detail separates its maker from every clever craftsman of the age. The moon doesn't move evenly across the sky. It speeds up and slows down along its elliptical orbit. The mechanism models that, a pin and slot device between 2 gears mounted off-center, making the lunar pointer accelerate and decelerate exactly as the real moon does. That's not a calendar, that's mathematical astronomy cast in bronze. Nothing of comparable mechanical complexity appears again in the surviving record for roughly 1,400 years. Which leaves the real question, where did this whole technology go? So who built it, and why does it stand alone? The engraving style dates the machine to roughly 150 to 100 BC. The astronomy fits the school of Hipparchus, who worked on roads, and Cicero, writing in the same era, describes devices recently made that modeled the motions of the heavens. Here's the detail that changes the mystery. It means the Antikythera mechanism probably wasn't unique. Roman authors mention such devices in the plural. Cicero is explicit about it. Writing a generation before the Antikythera wreck sank, he describes 2 bronze devices that modeled the heavens, both built by Archimedes, seized as war trophies when the Roman general Marcellus sacked Syracuse in 212 BC. Marcellus kept one for his own house and gave the other to a temple in Rome. Cicero says he saw a third, newer device himself, built by his own contemporary, the philosopher Posidonius. The tradition behind the Antikythera mechanism didn't start with whoever built it. It runs back through named devices and a century and a half of history to Archimedes. Which makes the real question not how did one genius do this, but where did the whole tradition go? Part of the answer is material. Bronze was money. A broken or unfashionable machine was scrapped to be melted. The only reason this one survived is that the sea took it before the recyclers could. For the rest, the workshops that could cut those gears needed patrons, texts, and apprentices, and the Roman Mediterranean's wars and centuries slowly starved all three. The wreck itself is still being excavated. Divers have brought up more statues, and in 2016 a human skeleton, a crew member of the ship that sank with the machine. Every season, the possibility stands that another lump of corrosion comes up with gears inside. The Antikythera mechanism proves the ancient world could hold knowledge we assumed it couldn't, and that an entire technology can vanish so completely that its rediscovery looks like science fiction. But at least the mechanism is unmistakably human-made. Off the coast of a tiny Japanese island, divers keep circling a colossal stone terrace with flat faces, straight edges, and right angles, 25 meters down. And 40 years on, geologists and archaeologists still can't agree whether anyone made it at all. It's called the Yonaguni Monument. That story is next, and if tonight's mystery held you, a like helps more people find the deep past, and subscribing brings you a new story every week. I'll see you down there.